Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for round 4 of the GR Supra GT Cup. Let's get this started. Bring yourself to the right and you're going to brake pretty early. You'll be braking before you reach the 4 marker on the right or way before the curb on the right ends. Brake as much as you can in a straight line and slowly ease off of the brakes. Try to get as close as you can to the apexes. Smoothly ease off of the brakes and then smoothly accelerate. Then brake when you reach the 2 board that is on the left or before you reach the gravel that is on the left as well. Slowly ease off of the brakes and just take your time slowly applying the throttle. You want to make sure that the car doesn't start to slide around too much. Brake before you reach the 1 marker on the left. You'll be using some of your braking power to just help the car rotate through this turn. You can let the car coast for a moment before you start to accelerate. Then when you reach the shadow of this bridge over here, that is when you start to brake. You brake hard for a short while, then take your time transitioning over from the brakes to the throttle. Now bring yourself to the right and you want to brake before you reach the 2 board that is on the right. You brake hard for a very short moment, slowly ease off of the brakes. Slowly apply the throttle and do not try to slide yourself onto the green area as that will make your car want to lose control. Now you want to brake before you reach the 4 board that is on the right. You brake as much as you can for a short while. Take advantage of this curb on the right. Now you want to get the car to rotate as quickly as possible, so ease off of the brakes once you want to turn in. Once you're pointing towards this empty area where the circle is at, that is when you can start to slowly accelerate and you can go on 4th gear for a little more stability. Now ease off the throttle as you go through this turn, use a little bit of braking if necessary. Now bring yourself to the left and brake before you reach the 2 board, slowly ease off of the brakes and slowly apply the throttle. Now bring yourself to the right and brake just before you reach the 3 board, and for one last time, slowly ease off of the brakes, straighten up the car, and then start to fully accelerate. But that is all for this lap guide. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about the strategies. For the qualifying session, you have 5 minutes to try to get a good qualifying time. First of all, just try to get out of the pit stop as soon as you can because you're going to be wasting quite a bit of time just exiting the pit stop. But anyways, the tire wear rate is at times 18, so you want to take your time on your outlap. Just do not stress the tires out too much because the tire wear rate is going to have the tire wear add up really fast. So just take your time going through the outlap, as you're going to need all the tire grip and the tire life for the 2 qualifying laps that you'll be doing shortly afterwards. You will not be able to do the strategy where you jump back out after your first qualifying lap then jump back in. That's not going to be possible because you will not have enough time to do such a thing like that. So you want to really take care of your tires. Once again, just take your time going through this out lap. And once you're on the final couple of corners after the corkscrew, that is when you can start to push a little bit more. For this qualifying session, I had the brake balance at -1, so 1 point towards the front of the car, just so I can have a little more stability while I'm braking. If you can, try to get the slipstream from the car ahead of you while maintaining a bit of space between yourself and the car in front of you. That way, you can accelerate a little bit faster and shave off a couple of tenths off of your time. And once again, with this 5-minute qualifying session, you'll only have 2 chances to try to get a good qualifying time. For the race strategy, you want to try to do a no stop. However, it's going to be a lot more difficult this time around. The tire wear rate is at times 18, and on the last couple of laps, the tire wear is going to be horrendous. It's going to be so bad, it's going to make the Nürburgring 24-hour race look like it was a walk in the park. I would also like to note that for the race, I had the brake balance at 1, so 1 point towards the back of the car, just to try to preserve the front tires. You can try to have it at 2, so 2 points towards the back of the car, but the car is going to get a little squirmy, so if you have it at 2, just be aware of that. Smooth driving is going to be important here. You want to make sure that the car doesn't start sliding around, as your tires will be paying a heavy price for each time that your car ends up sliding around. By driving smoothly, you basically delay the point of time where the tires are insanely worn out and that your car becomes a big hassle to drive. So you want to try to make sure that that doesn't happen so soon into the race. And you're going to want to focus a bit more on yourself, just trying to make sure that you stay on track and that you don't slide around. So don't worry too much about those around you. I mean, make sure you know where they are, but just don't worry about them too much. Try not to get pressured by their presence, even if they are around you. And you just want to try to make sure that you finish this race in one piece, especially if you are going for the no stop, which is going to be mandatory in the higher split races. To show you how bad the tire wear will be for this race, especially for the no stoppers, here are a couple clips of how the tire wear rate will be on the bottom left hand corner of the screen. So we just saw lap 4, or the end of lap 4. This is the end of lap 8. The front tires are really showing signs of wear, and this is the very end of the race. All 4 tires are basically melted. They are basically dying of death. So through the last 4 or 5 laps of the race, you have to be extremely careful with how you handle your car, because your car is going to be understeering quite a bit. And then when you're exiting a corner, there are increased chances of your car wanting to initiate some form of oversteer. So you just want to be really careful on the last 25% of the race. So some might be asking, well, if the tire wear is so bad on this race, then why aren't you doing the one stop? Well, we're about to find that out right now. So this is a clip of my friend and I just doing a small practice race. So he's going to continue on, start the second lap, and I'm going to do the one stop. So when I enter the pit stop sequence, he's going to be 1 second ahead of me, as you see on the top left hand corner of the screen. And I'm going to go and get a change of tires. And this is exactly why you do not want to do the one stop. It's going to take an eternity just to enter the stupid pit box. Apparently the car just got lost on its way. It couldn't figure out how to make a simple left turn. So we're 25 seconds in, we're already getting the tires changed. It takes just under 6 seconds to get the tires changed. And we start to go through the pit out sequence. So in total, the total pit time is going to be at around 45 seconds. So right now we're about to see how far up our friend is now. He was 1 second ahead when we entered the pit stop, and now he's 20 seconds ahead of us. And that is just by going into the pit stop to perform a simple tire change. So the one stop strategy is definitely not worth it. You have to go for the no stop, especially if you are in a higher split. But that is pretty much it for this guide. And once again, I have the brake balance set to +1, so 1 point towards the rear of the car for the actual race. So just try to conserve your tires and hope for the best. But that is pretty much it for this guide. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. MCA, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.